Ranking the most iconic moments of Survivor 43 from worst to best. Number 10, Last Gasp. Possibly based solely on nostalgia, but I couldn't make a video of the best moments of Survivor 43 and not include this legendary challenge on that list. Don't get me wrong, there is tons of problems with how Jeff Probst handled this challenge, with the ocean being way too rough to see a dramatic rise in water, as instead we saw big swells followed by so much room to breathe, leading to a controversial moment of Jeff Probst ending the challenge with Carla and Owen both winning immunity. But at the same time, I also love the added layer that was shown with this challenge regarding the choose your champion advantage. Cody ended up finding the advantage, and if he picked the correct winner of the challenge, spoiler alert, he did pick the correct winner, he would also receive immunity. The crazy part of the advantage being the other players don't know if Cody will be safe or not. What feels so good about a twist like this is knowing it replaced the insanely hated and broken do or die twist that was highlighted during Survivor 41 and Survivor 42. Let's make one thing clear before we keep going. I think there were tons of awesome moments with Survivor 43, and when planning out how to structure this video, I decided I need to limit myself to only 10 moments. So crazy news and hot takes, multiple moments of Survivor 43 will not be making it on this list, such as Cassidy's revenge plan, Gabler's thank you during the challenge, Noelles' steal a vote, everyone walking past the advantage, and so much more. So I encourage you to briefly think about your own top 10 most iconic moments of Survivor 43 and let me know at the end of the video how different my list compares to yours. Let's continue on with number 9, Owen versus James. Let's make one thing clear, every story needs its heroes to rise to the occasion, someone for the community to cheer on and see themselves in, but at the same time every story also needs a villain as well, someone to root against. It was a breath of fresh air to see an actual argument and conflict take place on Survivor 43 with the battle between Owen and James. Now I'm not fully convinced who actually is the hero and villain in this situation, but it's a step in the right direction to actually see some fighting on our television screens again. Owen was in a rough spot, voting on the wrong side and having not much going right in the game. He places some of this blame on James for telling him the wrong person to vote for at the previous tribal council, and after the options become limited due to the tribes getting split in half, we see a conversation turn into a debate and ending in a full-on fight between Owen and James. Survivor 41 and Survivor 42 didn't feel like real Survivor or full Survivor to a lot of the fan base, and I think a big part of that was missing the conflict. People losing their temper was welcome this season, and I hope we see it more in Survivor 44. And actually, that leads perfectly into the next moment in another fight on our list. Number 8, Ellie versus Gabler. Going from one conflict to another, Survivor is at its best when we get to see people's raw emotion from what is happening on the island. On one side of things, I'm disappointed that we didn't get to see more of Ellie on Survivor, as she really was at the forefront of the narrative throughout the pre-merge all the way up until the Ellie Gabler rose to the surface and took her out. We all probably remember how it ended. At the fake merge, Gabler decided to target Ellie and gives this top tier Survivor confessional that I'm quoting word for word here. By throwing Ellie's name out, I was trying to throw Ellie's name out there. Anyway, what I love so much about this conflict is it really helped us get through the early portions of this season, as we saw Gabler find an expiring hidden immunity idol. Ellie lie about loving punk rock music to grow closer to Gabler, decides to look through Gabler's bag with the help of Janine, attempt to trick Gabler about the rules of his own idol. The big problem with this was Ellie and Gabler end up not going to tribal council for the rest of the pre-merge. And Gabler knew about Ellie's scheming way before the fake merge finally took place and decided to use the perfect opportunity to get her out of the game and not have an impact on the jury.
Y'all see what trusting Gabler will get you?
Ooh. Right back at you.
Number 7, Fire Making Duel. Jumping forward into the final episode and most recent episode of Survivor 43, we saw the controversial but still very important fire making duel between Gabler and Jesse. It hurts, and I mean seriously pains me to put the fire making duel in any Survivor season as an iconic moment, but for a season like this, the fire making duel feels so much as a key point in the story. On the controversial side of things, Survivor juries are now favoring the players that compete in the fire making duel, theoretically losing the game for Cassidy for not giving up immunity and taking on Jesse and Fire. But we also have the final boss and fan favorite player of the season, Jesse. The fire making duel is set up for players like Jesse, giving them one last chance of making the final 3 instead of being voted out in a boring 3-1 vote. On top of that, I truly believe whoever received the credit for taking Jesse out of the game would ultimately go on to win the game. And that leads us right into Gabler. Ever since Survivor Heroes, Healers, and Hustlers, we have seen the fire making challenge. You would think think once players know they're going to be on Survivor, they would practice fire non-stop, get perfect at it for when an opportunity like this arises, they're gonna win the fire making duel. In Survivor history, no one has seized the moment quite like Mike Gabler, as he's our new fire making challenge record holder with 4 minutes and 9 seconds.
There it is! Gabler makes fire the fastest fire that has ever been made.
Number 6, Codys Idol Hat. I'll dive into this in a future video with my Survivor 43 review, but for a long time I thought Codys Idol Hat was gonna be a highlight for me this season. Such a unique and fun moment, but the huge issue with this was it took place all the way back in episode 2. And I mean, I was really hoping Cody would just keep the beads on his hat for the entire season and fully turn it into an idol hat. But unfortunately that wouldn't be the case, as he would take the beads off the hat. Going into this episode 2 tribal council, the entire tribe knew Dwight didn't have a vote, and there was a chance Cody would lose his vote as well, as he opened up the beware advantage. Not gonna lie, this would have made things so messy, but Cody working his magic, Jesse playing it up that everyone should give Cody the beads, and some beautiful Survivor editing magic gave us one of my favorite Survivor pre-merge moments of all time. The new era of Survivor is all about risk versus reward and turning idols into beware advantages. We saw 41 and 42 with the weird freezes, Survivor 43 we saw this bead hunt, and Survivor 44 we'll be seeing the idol cage twist. And it's crazy to think how much hidden immunity idols have changed from the simpler time of Russell Hantz finding idols without clues. At this point you probably think I'm obsessed with him, I just really want to pass him on YouTube. So if you're enjoying this video, please consider subscribing, as I'm on the road to becoming the biggest Survivor Russell. Number 5, Jesse's final 5 idol play. Spoiler alert, but we'll also be talking about Jesse's other, and in my opinion, crazier idol play a little later in the video. This moment, however, obviously taking place at the last point in the game when idols can be played. The idol play itself is actually useless, as Carla ends up receiving the majority of the votes, but Jesse is able to flip the narrative, making the idol play seem much more impressive than it really was. For starters, we need to remember this isn't actually Jesse's idol. It was Janines' hidden immunity idol that she found during the pre-merge when collecting all her tribe beads. Due to the scary knowledge is power advantage, everyone was shuffling advantages around, and Janine ends up giving the idol to Dwight, who secretly gives the idol to Jesse moments before Jesse actually blindsides Dwight. This was an insane villain move by Jesse. Anyway, Jesse blows up the tribal council at the final 5 with telling everyone that he'll be playing Janine's idol and won't be going home tonight, making it seem like he controlled the situation from the very start instead of just wasting the idol.
I know I'm safe because I've been hanging on to this little thing since Dwight went home.
Number 4, Noelle's challenge comeback. Putting this moment on my list might have some of you watching shake your head and make me sound like a casual Survivor viewer, but I don't care. I'm a sucker for underdog stories, and what Noelle was able to pull off here is the definition of an underdog story. Almost making Survivor feel fake in the process, we see Noelle struggle so hard with balancing on one leg, being so far behind everyone else, only to never give up and come back at the very end to win reward. And to finish the episode, we see her getting blindsided.
Wow! In one of the biggest comebacks in the history of Survivor has just won the biggest reward of the season. That is what this game is about right there.
Number 3, Knowledge is Power disaster. Gonna be straight up, I thought about putting the Knowledge is Power on this list just for the fact of it being such a disaster this season. Gio is able to find the advantage and instantly gets voted out. Jeff Probst puts it back in the game. James is able to find it only to get voted out with not being able to use it. Ha! Sucks to suck, Jeff. Stop putting this in the game. But also gotta respect that without the Knowledge is Power, we wouldn't get this amazing moment of Jesse stealing Janine's idol. And talking about that moment, number 2, Jesse steals Janine's idol. I know, I already talked about Jesse playing Janine's idol earlier in this video, but this moment was so awesome, I wanted to also put Jesse stealing the idol on this list as well. We already talked about the series of events that led to Jesse obtaining the idol. We don't need to bring that up again, but we do need to talk about how well the editors told the story, as all the players thought Dwight went home with Janine's idol.
That idol is in my pocket, and nobody knows about it.
Number 1, Cody blindsided. This entire thing was pure chaos, building the plan to blindside Cody with his own idol and flush Carla's idol in the process, only for this plan to maybe not work out as Cody asked for his idol back seconds before tribal. Make no mistake about it, this isn't just the most iconic moment in Survivor 43, this is one of the most iconic moments in Survivor history. And if you want to see another video just like this, then click here for the most iconic moments of Survivor 42.